Hi, I'm Salim Haq. I'm Director of the International Center for Climate Change and Development at the Independent University of Bangladesh. And we are one of the co-organizers of the Capacity Building Day event at the COP, which we've just completed here. The second time we've done it here in Katowice at COP24. And I have here with me Marilyn Averill, who is a steering committee member and a long-time member of the RINGO group, which is the Research and Independent NGOs group. Marilyn, I'd like to first tell us a little bit about yourself and the work that you do in the United States and Colorado, and then the role of the RINGOs, particularly in capacity building.
Okay. Well, I'm a lawyer from Boulder, Colorado, and I've been involved, this is my 17th COP, so I've been very involved with climate change for now about 18 years. Before that, I was an environmental attorney. But before that, my field was research and evaluation and education. So I have a strong interest in education from my previous life. Right now, my affiliation is with the Getches-Wilkinson Center for Natural Resources, Energy, and the Environment at the University of Colorado Law School, and I'm also affiliated with the Center for Science and Technology Policy Research there. But as Salim says, I've been involved with the RINGOs. I wandered into my first RINGO meeting, and the RINGOs are the Research and Independent NGOs in Milan in 2003 at the COP. That may be where I met you. I know I met you in an early RINGOs meeting, and I've been on the steering committee since 2009. And one of our purposes has always been to keep people up to date on a daily basis on what's going on in the negotiations. So people who come to our morning meetings get a chance to hear what people have been running into and hearing all around the COP and what kinds of information they've been privileged to hear during the COPs. But most of our members are from either universities or think tanks from around the world. So they have a capacity building professional obligation, and many of them bring their students here. We've been involved in capacity building through our professional organizations, but also, as I say, in trying to keep people up to date on what's going on with the negotiations. We also this year did a webinar. 4 of us put together a 2-hour webinar to prepare people for COP24. It's available online if you're interested in it. But right now we're talking about other ways to think about how we can build capacities and how we can get our members who come to the COPs, because in fact the kinds of people, our colleagues back home, who are really involved with climate change issues that are relevant to mitigation, adaptation, and every aspect of climate change, are not necessarily the people who come to the COPs. So we're beginning to talk about ways, sort of the RINGOs at home. How can we go back home and connect colleagues at home more with their colleagues around the world and promote collaborations, but also engage them in addressing climate change issues in their own communities.
Thank you very much. So maybe once we've uploaded the presentations and discussions from the Capacity Building Day here, might be something that would they can watch, and if they're interested, engage with in future with the RINGOs and others who come to the COPs. What do you think?
Absolutely.
So I have one other question for you, Marilyn. The RINGO group in general, unlike the other constituencies, doesn't do collective action. They're here as independent institutions. They follow everything. They come to the meeting just to share what's happening, but they don't take any actions together. But do you think that the issue of capacity building in Article 11 might be something that is neutral enough for them to remain independent, but since they all have an interest, or many of them have an interest in capacity building, maybe something we can coalesce around, and the RINGO group might do more in terms of collective inputs into capacity building?
It could be. I think the RINGOs are very interested in capacity building on an individual and a group basis. I don't think we would be interested in taking a stand on particular language in the rule book, but I think we're very interested in working with negotiators, anyone who's here at the COP, to try to find ways to connect with other researchers and to make our own research more useful to people who are trying to take climate action on the ground. So yes, I definitely do think that we would be interested in becoming advocates for capacity building. As you say, we don't advocate for particular positions because that was the understanding when we were created. It was that we were a research group and we would not take particular positions in the negotiations, except that we've always taken positions on advocating for sound science, decisions grounded in sound science and evidence-based decision making. So I think capacity is a very similar kind of issue. We really are trying to help people to take climate action, but not telling them what they should do, but trying to enable what it is they decide to do.
Thank you very much. So perhaps next capacity building day we can get a few more Ringo's members involved in helping us with the event.
I think we probably could.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Celine.